just a huge win for Texas.
Senate Bill 1238 has been signed and will now protect future widows and allow the over 1.1 million current widows to have lower insurance rates across the state.
Making this change is not necessarily any kind of rollback, but an affirmation of what the market should have been doing all along.
Prior to the bill signing, some insurance companies only provided married and single options, creating what some refer to as the widow penalty, as some widows such as Pam Kuchta say they saw their home and car insurance rates spike after having to change from married to single as there was no widow option.
Instead of a condolence card, you get a letter from your insurance company telling you that your rates are going up because you're no longer married. And nothing changed. You know, my credit rating didn't change. I didn't go out and buy another car.
The new bill will go into effect September 1st, which should help shift widows back to a marital rate instead of single. However, anyone who has renewed before then may not be able to get the different rates until their next renewal.
I would still encourage people to talk to their insurance provider and see if the change can be made and have impacts on their policy sooner.
For Kuchta, she says she is glad that there's finally some relief on the way for people that have experienced a similar situation.
Now, I would tell everybody, don't think that you're too small or you're so insignificant that you can't do something about somebody doing something that you feel is wrong.
Alex Weister, East Texas News Weekend.